How far can the human mind penetrate the mysteries of the great beyond? Who knows? This picture is based upon an extraordinary experiment carried out by Doctors Hughes and Tooney of the University of Los Angeles. There is no doubt as to its authenticity. Testimony of people participating in the experiment, sworn to by a notary public, preclude the possibility of any fraud. This picture is a combination of factual data mixed with fiction.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Dr. Diaz, Dr. Esther, what a pleasure to have you here.
The pleasure is all ours.
I hope you're feeling well.
Very well, thank you. And you?
The same old laborers, always working.
Trying to find new ways to help patients die painlessly.
Please don't choke. But won't you come in? My husband is in there waiting for you.
Good evening, gentlemen. I'm most grateful to you for having taken the trouble to come to my home this evening.
It's no trouble, Doctor.
We're delighted. Who'd complain at having the opportunity of visiting with such a beautiful young lady as your wife, Flora?
Flatterer.
How are you, Pinkate?
Fine, Doctor.
Please sit down, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Dr. Diaz, Dr. Esther, I've taken the liberty of calling you here because I think it's time I revealed something very serious.
Let's hear it then.
It's about the Aztec breastplate and the bracelet, gentlemen.
How's that? Why, the whole thing was forgotten long ago. It's a closed book, Doctor.
And that's exactly what I thought, too. But things have happened lately that I think you two should know about. My friends, be patient and allow me to tell you a story. Although you already know part of the history, there are some things that you ignore. I think the best thing to do is to begin at the beginning. You both recall, do you not, that occasion years ago, 5 to be exact, when we held a convention on psychiatry in this city. I attended and gave a talk on the results of my studies related to the regression of a patient to a past life through the use of hypnosis. My theory was greeted with amazement and incredulity by the members of the convention. Among others attending that day were you, Dr. Esther, and you, Dr. Diaz. You both had come with Dr. Krupp, and my theory was made the subject of ridicule, and I left the convention bitter and defeated. I got to the house feeling unsure of these ideas. I'd been squelched, but I just couldn't accept the other opinions of my theories. I was sure they could be proven. That night, Flora offered to undergo a hypnotic test. She was fully aware of the danger of the experiment. Assisted by her father and by Pinkate, I hypnotized her. During her past life, Flora had lived among the great peoples of the Aztec. She told us such strange things, amazing things. Far back in those ancient years, her name had been Xochi. She was deeply in love with a brave and high-born warrior called Popoca. Their love was so strong that it would not answer to reason. So they decided to run away, even though it was her sacred duty to preserve her maidenhood and be sacrificed to the god Tecatlicopa. But they were discovered by the tribal priests. As punishment, the warrior was buried alive, and an eternal curse was placed upon him.
Kaki popokaki. Umate me kawo ni wiki. Me palkon. Ni mison gupilia. Ingwani que le huía. Maye wigatineste. Monde malkayelis.
As for Xochi, she was adorned with the bracelet and the breastplate, which were engraved with hieroglyphics, indicating where the Aztec treasure was hidden. Then they cut out her heart. But as she began to regain consciousness, in the exact moment I came to the end of my little experiment, she struggled and began to shout. Flora had a terrible attack of some kind, and her blood pressure dropped to such an extent that we were afraid she might die. But a couple of weeks later, we discovered that Dr. Krupp, a man who had suddenly become a dangerous criminal in the underworld, had been there spying during my experiment. The experiment had been a complete success, but since we realized that no one would believe us unless we could come up with absolute proof, we decided to search for the breastplate and the bracelet. Flora acted as our guide, and we discovered a hidden passageway beneath the pyramid of Teotihuacan. Professor, I think we're up against a dead end.
It can't be possible. The Aztecs wouldn't build a secret passageway just to have it end up for no rhyme or reason. There must be some way through that wall.
Professor, it sounds hollow.
But it's so thick that it's senseless to try to break through.
Pinkate, lend me a hand, please. Flora, come on.
This must be a little room beneath the pyramid.
Yes, but I know it isn't the temple.
Look what I found! Come here!
What is it?
It looks like a well.
Well, I think it's an air shaft, but undoubtedly it will lead us somewhere.
Probably to the temple.
Well then, what are we waiting for?
Come on. After descending several flights of stairs, we suddenly encountered the hair-raising face of the god Tezcatlipoca. We had reached the lower temple and the Aztec tomb that Flora had mentioned. And there we came across the skeleton of what had once been Xochi. On the chest lay the solid gold breastplate.
Xochi, this is horrible to think I was she.
You know, we're the first persons to break in here. It's a world that slumbered all these years and begins to awaken now. We've found what we wanted so badly.
No, Edward, don't do it.
Now at last I'll be able to demonstrate this to my colleagues and prove my theory.
It's simply amazing.
Just a few days after I got the breastplate, I asked you all here, including Dr. Krupp, as you'll recall.
Certainly. I'd say that it was the greatest experience of my life.
And mine, too.
You must also recall that I said that I'd study the breastplate and that I'd try to decipher the hieroglyphics and see what they meant, since I knew that the message would tell how to find that hidden treasure.
Yes, but I remember your telling that you also needed the bracelet.
Exactly, Doctor. One object complemented the other. Without the bracelet, it was simply impossible to decipher the code. So I decided to go back for it, in spite of the Aztec curse that surrounded it.
He who defiles the tomb of the Aztecs and finds the sacred plate will run the risk of death and his family as well, until the breastplate is replaced.
I depended upon the help of my father-in-law and of my good friend, Dr. Pinkate. So once again, the three of us got together and returned to the tomb. When we reached there, and I was just about to pick up the bracelet, my father-in-law stumbled on something and called my attention to it.
Look here. Look there. Doesn't that grave belong to Popoka?
Yes, according to the legend, it does.
In that case, where is he now?
We heard a strange shuffling noise that was coming in our direction. And then out of the darkness appeared the ghastly and terrifying Popoka. The Aztec warrior had come back to life. Come back to life to retrieve the objects that had been left in his care for eternity. Let's put out the lights. I have an idea. I don't think he can stand it. Turn them on. Shine them in his face. Turn them off again. Lights again. You better run. I'll follow you. PK! Professor, help me! Whoa, pull me faster! To be perfectly frank, I thought my time had come. If it hadn't been for my friends, I'd have been torn to pieces.
It's incredible. A mummy comes back to life after hundreds of years in a sepulcher.
Dr. Diaz, you have my word of honor that the story I have been telling is the truth. Popoka, as I told you, was punished because he loved young Xochi. His curse was to guard the priceless bracelet as well as the golden breastplate, to do so for all eternity. Under this terrible curse, his poor soul would never find repose.
Continue, Edward.
Well, the bat on many occasions tried to steal these objects that I had found. Time passed rapidly. I thought the whole business had been forgotten. But I found that the Aztec curse still followed us. One night, the mummy came to this house to get his treasure pieces. And he kidnapped Flora. He tied her to the sacrificial stone where the skeleton of Xochi had lain for centuries, and placed the bracelet and the breastplate on her. Obviously, the mummy intended to make history repeat itself. He was going to cut out Flora's heart and offer it to the god Tecatlicopa. The three of us rushed to the pyramid to try to rescue Flora. And we stood transfixed for a moment at the scene we saw. The mummy was standing next to the stone. He was holding a knife high in his right hand. I jumped to the floor and luckily was able to hit the blade with a bullet. It lunged at me, and its enormous hands got hold of my throat. Life was leaving me rapidly when Flora's father suddenly held a cross up in front of its face. With this, he was able to hold the mummy at bay while we freed Flora. In a frenzy, we untied her and got her away from the stone. Then the professor ordered us to get her out of the pyramid. His tone was so adamant and I was so concerned for Flora's safety that we obeyed him blindly. But when we got out, I realized that he hadn't followed us, and I decided to go back for him. In that very instant, a tremendous explosion shook the pyramid. The professor had given up his life in order to save ours. Since the mummy had stayed under tons of boulders and the bat had been sent to prison, of course we thought the whole business had come to an end. But it didn't happen that way. The bat, who is really the infamous Dr. Krupp. Krupp? He broke out of jail. In his mad determination to get my treasure, He kidnapped my daughter and Flora and then hypnotized her.
Do tell us the rest, my friend. Then what happened?
In this state, she took the doctor to the Aztec tomb. He immediately located the mummy, taking the breastplate and the bracelet. Well, Krupp called me on the phone not too much later. I was ordered to go there and decipher the hieroglyphics to enable the demon to locate the treasure.
And you agreed?
Can't you see that I had to obey? To save my wife who had been kidnapped by the doctor and my little girl.
But there's another thing that you should know. It'll surprise you to hear that Krupp once said that he needed that Aztec treasure to work on an experiment. He also said that the experiment, of course, was costly.
Now you know how I was forced to do it. I went to Krupp's laboratory and began to decipher the hieroglyphics. In the hands of those criminals, our lives were in grave danger. Our only hope was that the mummy, guided by unknown forces, would be able to find Dr. Krupp's hideout just the way he had found my house on a previous occasion. I dragged the thing out as much as possible, but the moment arrived when I could stall no longer. I finished it.
That's fine.
I hope you'll keep your promise now and set us all free, Doctor.
Eh? Oh, yes. You know what to do now, don't you, Bruno?
Just what are you going to do? Murder us?
What do you think?
You unscrupulous pig!
Can't you hear? No! Help me! No! Please help me! Help me!
He realized who the criminals were and settled accounts with them. Then when he saw the doctor trying to escape, he picked him up like a rag doll and threw him into a pit full of rattlers.
Ah! Ah!
Afterwards, with the breastplate and the bracelet in his hand, he slowly shuffled away into the darkness and soon was lost from sight. I'll never forget the strong affection I had for Flora's father. Such a kind man whose intelligent advice brought about our salvation.
And the mummy went back to the pyramid?
No. The explosion destroyed his temple. He had no reason to go there.
In that case, can't you tell us where he is?
Permit me to continue. All these tragic happenings couldn't go unattended. So I went to the police, and they heard the whole story. Then I returned to Krupp's hideout, accompanied by the chief of police and a couple of his men. You can imagine our surprise when we discovered the place was completely empty. The laboratory had been dismantled, and the bodies of the criminals that the mummy had killed had also disappeared. Continuing our search, we hurried to the snake pit. I was awestruck when I realized that the body of Dr. Krupp was no longer down there. Then, to our horror, we discovered that there was a small door in the back wall of the pit through which the doctor could have escaped. Obviously, the doctor had escaped, and strangely, I don't think he'd been bitten.
The man's running loose.
So that would mean that the doctor kept trying to come by those articles so that he could locate the treasure.
You're right, my friend, he did just that. He began to bother us a couple of weeks later. It happened quite suddenly, you see. One dark night.
This is the house.
Do you really think this plan of yours is going to work, Doc?
You'll see. Now, I want you to be quiet. Keep still and don't make the slightest noise. Flora, it is my wish that you come to my side. Flora, I command you to come to me. Flora, I command you to come to me. Flora, are you listening? Come here to me. Flora, do not try to fight it. Come here. Flora, do not try to fight it. Come here. Flora, are you listening? I command you to come to me. Flora, you are to do as I command. Come here. You can hear the waves that are being sent out by that mummy, can you not? I know well that you're able to lead us to him.
Yes, I can.
Then tell us, where is Pepoka?
In the ancient cemetery.
Come with me.
What are you doing here? Answer me! What are you doing here?
Come now, Flora. Come on, we must hurry. place?
Yes.
You devil. You stinking devil. Oh, I'd like to chop your rotten flesh to pieces.
It'd certainly be great to do so, but you know it's not possible now. We're going to make my experiment, so we must wait.
Wait. When I got so much hate eating down deep inside of my guts, you ain't got no idea what it is to live like this. Hiding myself from everyone and everything. Just because of that stinking monster.
Calm down now. I promise you that he'll be destroyed. But give me time. Just a little time. It won't be too long before you can have your revenge. Let me get the breastplate first, the bracelet. So near to them, and yet so far because I can't touch them. It's too dangerous to do it. He'll wake up in an instant and destroy us. But I'll get them back. I swear it. No matter how long it takes me. You devilish mummy. Come on, we better go now. We'll be needing a lot of time if the plan I have is going to work out.
Anything you say.
Come, Flora. Now listen to me well, Flora. You'll go up to your room, and you'll go to sleep. And when you awaken, you'll act quite normally. And you won't recall a thing. Do you understand? You won't recall a thing. Now walk. Go on. Go on.
Well, good morning.
Good morning, sweetheart.
You must have been very tired. We were waiting down here to have breakfast with you. We could both eat a horse.
Bacon and eggs, like always?
Nothing for me, Maria. I have a terrible headache, dear.
What's that you've got on your gown?
It's all dirty. That's funny.
You've been down in the cellar.
No, sweetheart. I don't know.
But look at your slippers. They're all muddy.
Now, come on. What have you been up to?
Nothing. It's funny. These are new slippers. I just bought them. And now they're dirty.
I think you went out last night.
No. After I took my bath, I went to bed because I was tired.
Yes, but you got up later on, didn't you?
I did? No.
Yes. Because I woke up a couple of times and you were not in bed.
No, you're mistaken, darling. I assure you I didn't leave my bed for a second.
You went out last night, honest, Mom.
Come on, let's forget the whole thing for now, all right? Remember, she has a great imagination. Tell me, has your headache passed?
No. I'm going to lie down for a while. Excuse me, please.
You children go out and have your breakfast.
Yes, Daddy.
Come on, Piquet, I want to talk to you.
Oh, boy, what a liar you are. You shut your big mouth. You're the liar.
Piquet, I'm very worried. This attitude that we've observed in Flora is not normal. What's more, I'm afraid that the bat has something to do with this.
Then you really think that child was telling the truth about it? And that her mother got up and went out?
Yes. It's quite probable.
But Flora insisted she didn't leave her bed for a second.
Because she can't recall anything. When she got up last night, she was sleeping.
I don't understand it. It seems impossible.
I'll tell you what I think. She was hypnotized and could be under post-hypnotic suggestion. So it seems to me that the bat controls her from a distance. It's logical. This strange attitude with Flora indicated that unscrupulous villain Krupp made her leave the house during the night.
But where did they go to?
Can't you guess what he's trying to do? You certainly know what he's after, the breastplate.
And besides that, the bracelet.
Precisely, Pinkate.
Then you think that she was made to go along with Krupp, and he wanted her to guide him to find the mummy.
Exactly, and you and I must go there. I'm going to find out if that scoundrel stole those objects.
But that'll be difficult. You can't investigate without any clues.
Yes.
Listen to me a second. Suppose we took her slippers to the laboratory to have that mud analyzed. That could help us, don't you think?
Yes, that might just be the solution. We'll take them, but I don't think she should find out. We'd better do it all in secret. Come on.
Yes, now I'm quite sure. It's embedded in the dirt. Of course, it's a small quantity, Doctor, but your suspicions are correct. They're pieces of marble.
You're sure it's marble?
Can you identify its source? Is it a special kind?
No, it isn't, but it's a fine quality. It might be a Carrara marble, I can say that. It's used in the construction of mausoleums, as far as I know.
Thank you.
This is the last cemetery. We've seen all the others. If we don't find anything here, we'd better forget about it.
Hello there.
Good evening. Tell me, are you the watchman here?
Yes, sir. Anything I can do for you?
Oh, yes. We'd like to ask you a few questions.
We'd like to know if you've seen anything strange the last few weeks or more recently. Anything very suspicious in or around the cemetery pertaining to one of the graves.
Are you from the police?
Yes, that's right, my friend, and we're after a very dangerous criminal whom we suspect has been hiding in one of the cemeteries around the city.
Well, the fact is, something pretty doggone curious did happen. Just 2 nights ago, I was surprised to run into a young woman here wearing a kind of white robe. She seemed to be asleep, and 2 men entered the grounds with her. And when I asked them who they were, one of the guys slugged me, and they left me out cold here on the ground.
Then we'll be taking a look around the grounds.
You can do anything you want. Anything you want.
You see, I was right. At last, we're on the trail.
Now, the tough part is yet to come, because we've got to walk around till we find the mummy.
Look, we'd better separate now. Go that way, Pinkate. I'll go over there. Go on.
Edward! Edward, come here!
What happened?
Look!
Come on. Look, the breastplate and the bracelet.
They didn't take it.
All this I've just told you occurred almost 5 years ago. We visited the crypt from time to time to take a look at the mummy, with its breastplate and its bracelet, too.
And the bat, is he still around?
You know, he disappeared from sight. Then, just a couple of days ago, we read an article that is very interesting. We were profoundly surprised by it. According to the article, a couple of nights before, a cadaver had been robbed from the amphitheater.
And the individual who did it was the bat, of course.
Yes. In the beginning, we had some doubts, since the man who had been attacked couldn't offer us a description of his assailants. But later on, our suspicions were confirmed. Yesterday, there was a burglary in the Radiology Institute. The thieves took a machine that uses radium. They also stole a brain out of a laboratory. This time, the police were able to identify the crooks as the Bat and all his band. As a matter of fact, they were almost captured.
Are there any good clues, Doctor?
Lead is the only metal capable of resisting radiation. Lead material in this city is handled by many wholesalers. After visiting the first 3 or 4... good morning, sir.
Good morning. What can I do for you, gentlemen?
We're sorry to be a bother to you, but is it just possible that lately you sent out a large shipment of lead? Could you give me that information?
In the last 2 days?
Or it could be a week, more or less.
Well, let me check. We keep a record of our shipments in this book. Yes, here it is. Exactly 5 days ago, we made delivery of 20 plates of lead shielding 4 inches in width to number 22 Shade Street.
Many thanks.
You're welcome.
After investigating for days, at last we got the address. I think that Bat had made his hideout there, or his laboratory.
Well, I don't see why this thieving Dr. Krupp would go to the effort of stealing radium, a complete human brain, and also the body of some man.
Do you recall that the Bat once told Flora that he was working on a new experiment? I think that is the explanation.
It's possible. But there's no doubt that Dr. Krupp and his criminals are planning to cause trouble.
Certainly, that's also my opinion. Now, I'll tell you why I called you here tonight, gentlemen, because you both are scientists, and you'll be able to combat the situation. Just in case we end up being murdered.
You mean to say you two are thinking of going there without taking the police along?
Yes, because you see, we're still not sure that that's the Bat's laboratory. And the police still don't have much faith in us because of what happened before. Flora, in case we're not back here at the house by 3 in the morning, I'm leaving it up to you to call the police.
Edward!
Freeze, you two.
Dr. Armada. What a pleasant surprise.
Bruno?
A souvenir of the mummy. The boss is going to be very happy to say hello to you two again. Come along. Boss! Look what I found out in front.
Dr. Amada and his shadow. This is a pleasant surprise, gentlemen. After such a long time, I come face to face with such good friends. Exactly where did you find them?
Out in the shop there, looking around.
I offer you my congratulations, because you are magnificent detectives. Did anyone else come with them?
Nobody else. I saw them when they drew up in the automobile, alone.
Bruno, aren't you going to attend our guests the way they deserve? Go fetch chairs for the gentlemen.
Sure, right away.
Tell me, how's your beautiful and charming wife, Dr. Amada? I learned about your marriage, and I admit it's a bit late to say it, but receive my congratulations. And Pinky, how are you these days? Are you still the champion of right? There's no doubt about it, and I'm glad. Come over here. Who would have thought that you'd be here at the moment to witness this? Because you're about to see something that will astonish you, truly unbelievable. When you feast your eyes on this, I don't doubt that you'll be amazed, Doctor, and you'll be the first to congratulate me. Frankly, I'm happy that you came here to visit us, Dr. Amada. You're a man who is basically an intellectual, and that's why you'll be able to understand the greatness of my invention. I think you remember that time we met. Since then, I've worked day and night without resting for a minute. And during all of that hectic time, I explored powers that no one else knows. All those great mysteries, the very basis of creation.
Then that means that you defy all the limits that were put down by God.
There are certain secrets that we could explore and discover rapidly. And that's why it's such a shame that fear impedes us so, Dr. Amada.
You're completely mad and ignorant also.
Don't you respect research at all? Don't you want to learn to know why our body functions? I do. And at last I found the cause. Take a look at this heart that's beating. It lives. It lives and pulsates because I gave it life. And if I can give life to inert material, why can't I give it to the bodies that are damned to death and decay? No one can possibly imagine how I worked. When I dug in the mud with these hands and entered tombs, I tortured many animals with pleasure to find the answers to man's existence.
You're insane, do you know?
I decided to create a man. A breathing body, a real man. And I have made that dream come true. There you have the greatest creation of man's intelligence. A human robot, Doctor. Tonight I'm going to find out. Tonight I'm going to put it to the supreme test. I'll activate the creature.
But this is monstrous, Doctor.
If it lives, then my triumph will be complete, Dr. Amada. Because I'll get the treasure, and I'll be rich. This thing I created has enormous power, and you'll watch it. Now then, life for the robot. Doctor, watch this.
2:30 already.
Don't you think it would be better to call the police now?
I don't know what to do.
No. Let's all wait till 3 a.m. and respect the doctor's wishes.
Suppose they're in danger.
Oh, this is great, Doctor! The greatest invention! You can see it standing there. A marvelous machine, a tribute to the great intelligence of man. A human robot. With this shining creature, no human being on this earth can oppose me. Do you understand? Do you know what could have happened to you right now? Had I not diminished the electric force, the current that makes him move, and that is contained in this apparatus? With the slightest twist of this dial, you two would have been converted into atomic dust instantaneously. Because the robot utilizes radium and has sufficient power to disintegrate anything in the world. Tonight, it meets the mummy. Bruno, prepare the special plates. The lead will shield my truck. Hurry, time is flying. Tonight, my robot has to make a visit, you know. In a certain cemetery. What time is it? 10 minutes to 3. I told you there's no time to lose, Bruno. Hurry, get going!
I want the police. It's urgent. Headquarters, I want to talk to the chief of police.
I want you to stop and think about this. A new kind of world. An army of robots obeying me. The human species. Sheep obeying my orders. A new theory that man has not dared imagine. I'll make some more. Maybe 1,000. Now that I know how, the rest is easy. But for that, I need money. That treasure of the Aztecs. That's why tonight the mummy will give me what I want.
Boss, it's all set.
Fine. You two will stay here and guard our distinguished friends. They mustn't get away. They're an extremely important cog in my plan. I'm sorry that I can't take you along, but you'd only get underfoot. But I'll return, gentlemen, to inform you that I could destroy the mummy. And with the gold breastplate and bracelet in my hands, you'll begin once more to translate the hieroglyphics. This time you're helpless, because no one knows you're here. Dr. Amara.
Let's hurry. I'm afraid for their lives.
Come on, get up! Come on, let's go! Come on! Watch it! Come on, get it! Give me that gun! Come on!
Flora.
What happened here?
Chief, you can arrest those 2 men there in the other room.
Come on.
Dr. the Bat has gone to the tomb where the mummy is. Let's hurry. There's no time to lose.
What's that?
Hurry, Bruno. Take the breastplate and bracelet off of him.
Yes.
At last, you devil. At last I'm gonna have my revenge.
in memory of the great love that once existed between us. Stop all this death and destruction. Take these objects that are yours to guard and go back to the grave of our ancestors, where we should never have interrupted your eternal sleep.
Soledad Flats, Nevada. Soledad Flats, Nevada. The time, 6:15 a.m. The climax of arduous planning. Operation A-bomb test underway.
Detonation minus 2 minutes.
Military personnel, from buck private to top-ranking brass. Men from research and news services move into position. The bomb-carrying plane makes its initial run. Radar with eyes that never sleep. Special equipment go into operation. All orders are carried out with split-second precision. Warning is given to all commercial aircraft to stay out of the test area.
Detonation minus 70 seconds.
Planes take to the air, carrying sensitive instruments and nuclear scientists, ready to record the radioactivity from the closest possible vantage point.
Detonation minus 40 seconds.
The bomb-carrying plane nears the target. Tension mounts as all members of the flight crew anticipate the task, to pinpoint the bomb on a tiny circle of Earth below. Now the plane wings its way toward ground zero. Warning signal is sounded. All observers prepare for the blinding flash of the bomb.
Detonation minus 20 seconds.
Command of the plane is given to the bombardier. Ground zero dead ahead. The key man now goes into action. Bomb bay doors open.
Detonation minus 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
You can make the position report now. Have the figures ready.
Control from Tar Baby 2. Over.
Go ahead, Tar Baby 2.
We're circling ground zero at radius of 7.5 miles. Altitude 15,000 feet. Airspeed 450. Stand by.
Roger and over.
She's all yours.
This is Dr. Martin. Here are the readings. 0.378 negative. Second indicator. 1.08 negative. Radiation 0.4. Over. Roger, proceed according to plan.
Wilco and out.
Take her in closer.
Okay, Dr. Martin.
We'll have to keep at least 2 miles from the center of the column. Radiation was too strong.
What's that thing shining below?
Looks like a fireball. Better check.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Martin, we're in trouble.
Pull out!
Pull out! I can't! The controls are frozen!
Tar Baby 2 from base. Come in, Tar Baby 2. Come in, Tar Baby 2. We've lost contact, sir. Baker 2, sir. Yes, sir. All patrol craft in test area. This is a Mayday. Repeat, this is a Mayday. Proceed to segment Baker 17. Search for Tar Baby 2.
Control from Tar Baby 7. Wreckage sighted southwest corner, Soledad Flats. Ship appears completely demolished. No sign of survivors. Over.
Roger, Tar Baby 7. Circle wreckage at 1000 feet until arrival of helicopter rescue unit.
Dr. Kruger, Colonel Banks speaking. Would you mind coming into my office right away, please? Thank you. As I was saying, our search planes found the wreckage of your husband's plane, Mrs. Martin. A rescue crew was sent out, but...
But they must have reached the wreckage hours ago. Why can't they find him?
I honestly don't know, Mrs. Martin. Yes, come in. Ellen.
Kurt. Colonel Banks. Isn't there any hope?
I'm afraid not, Mrs. Martin. They found the pilot dead in the wreckage. And according to all reports, no one could have bailed out. I'm terribly sorry, Mrs. Martin.
Dr. Martin, are you all right?
I am, yes. It's Dr. Martin. Call the base hospital. Come on, Doctor. Come on. All right, look up to your right. And now look over to your left. All right, you get up now. Well, everything seems all right. Except, can't you recall anything that happened from the time your plane crashed until...
I remember the controls froze. The next thing I saw was the main gate of the base.
Your plane was completely demolished, the pilot burned to death, and you show off the picture of health. Are you sure you weren't driven here?
Positive.
You don't remember where you got this?
Mm-mm.
You know, your medical chart shows no indication of any scars on your body.
Well, I must have got it in a crash.
Now, this was surgery. A very skillful incision.
I've never had an operation.
Now, that's what I don't understand.
Mr. Briggs.
Colonel Banks.
How are you, Mr. Briggs?
Fine, how are you?
Fine. I see the FBI doesn't waste much time.
Well, not if we can help it, Colonel.
Oh, you know our base surgeon, Major Clift?
Sure. How have you been, Major?
How do you do? Well, I guess you gentlemen have business to discuss.
Oh, no. This won't take a minute. Sit down.
Sit down, please, gentlemen. Cigarette.
Oh, thank you.
I understand you've already talked with Dr. Martin.
I just left him. You know, Colonel, according to my files, Dr. Martin is just about the key man on this nuclear project.
Yes, along with Dr. Kruger, he is.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know they're both good friends, and, both have knowledge and access to top-secret information.
Well, that's very true, but that's no reason to suspect that they...
We can suspect anything, Colonel, until Dr. Martin accounts for every minute from the time of the crash.
The shock must have caused a mental block. His mind doesn't want to remember the details. The origin of the scar on his chest, how he got back to the base under his own power.
Did you ever stop to think that perhaps this Dr. Martin isn't really the Dr. Martin?
What are you getting at?
What I mean is that this man could be an imposter. They did come through, huh? They do check. That's what I've been waiting for, thanks. Get me Colonel Banks at the base, please. No, I'll wait.
Oh, yes, Mr. Briggs. Any news on the line you were getting on Dr. Martin?
Just heard from Washington. Well, I was wrong. This is our man, all right. His prints and description check right down the line. Now, here's what I suggest you do.
But you say he's in excellent physical condition, yet you're keeping him in the base hospital. Why?
Mrs. Martin, you must realize that your husband is engaged in a highly secret work. If this experience had, well, affected his mind...
Are you trying to tell me that Doc is...
No. It's nothing serious, Mrs. Martin. His reflexes are excellent. Except for that one lapse of memory, his mind is perfectly clear.
Isn't that natural under the circumstances?
Yes. Except for the question of the scar on his chest.
I know he didn't have it before the crash.
Well, I'm sure he didn't, Mrs. Martin. But you see, it would be impossible for a wound of this size to have healed so quickly and without medical attention.
Well, you can't keep him here indefinitely.
Well, we don't intend to. We've asked you to come down here because we've decided to let you take him home, provided you can keep him quiet and he gets enough rest.
I understand. Now we'll just have to take that vacation he's been wanting for so long.
Vacation? To watch him, you'd think you never heard of one.
Yes, he must have asked me 100 times when the next test was scheduled. He's anxious to take his own readings again.
Well, he did have a key part in the planning of these projects.
Well, is there anything he should or shouldn't be allowed to do?
No. Except he does need diversion. Anything that won't upset or excite him.
I see. Movies, bridge, drives, things like that.
Well, you're the doctor now. Just see that he gets plenty of rest.
Thank you. Goodbye, Colonel.
Goodbye. See you later, Major.
What's the matter?
I can't sleep.
What time is it?
After 3. I think I'll get myself a glass of milk. Give me squadron operation. Duty desk, please. Helen, what did you get up for? This is Dr. Martin calling. Who is this speaking?
Sergeant Bandero. Anything I can do for you, Doctor?
I wondered if there were any last-minute orders on another atomic test. What do you mean you can't tell me?
Sorry, sir. Regulations. I can't give out information to anyone. No, sir. It won't do you any good to come down.
All right, we'll see about that. I've got to get out to the base right away. Alan, don't you agree with me? I've spent months preparing for this series of tests, and no sergeant is going to push me around now. Well, aren't you going to say anything?
No.
Look, I know they're ready for another test, and I should be there.
Can't you understand that they don't want you around for your own good?
I don't need their sympathy. There's nothing wrong with me.
Then why are you acting this way? You're all on edge. If you don't slow down, I don't know what's going to happen.
You really believe that, don't you?
Look, Doug, if you won't take it easy for your own sake, please, do it for mine.
Time to get up.
Go away.
All right, stay in bed all day. It's almost 11 o'clock.
What'd you say?
Said it was almost 11 o'clock.
It is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. You go put the coffee on while I get dressed.
I don't care what you say. You had no right to go ahead without me. And you, Kurt, you didn't tell me either. Why? Orders, Doug. Orders? Nonsense. The least that could have been done would have been to let me know. I'm fine. I could have done my work.
I hate to say this, Dr. Martin, but in your present state, you're not considered a very good security risk.
Me? A security risk? My present state? What's the matter with me? How long am I to be considered?
Only temporarily. The results of the test will be available for your study when you return to work.
I am ready, Colonel.
To us, you're still a very sick man. My advice to you is to go home and relax, as you were ordered.
Relax, relax. And if I don't?
Then you'll be confined to the base hospital till you change your mind. Now, what's it going to be? Well, Doctor?
Oh, Dr. Martin. I didn't expect you back so soon.
Haven't you heard? I'm a mental case. Can't even be trusted with my own work. Liable to go berserk at any minute. Colonel Banks will fill you in on the details. Don't tell me. Let me see. You're, I know. You're Miss Vincent, the secretary I share with,
Oh, Doctor, you can't be serious. There was no one in your office, so I thought you wouldn't mind.
Oh, that's all right. It's all right. As far as I'm concerned, you can take the rest of the day off.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. No, I don't really belong here. I just came in to pick up a few personal things from my desk.
Goodbye, Doctor.
Goodbye. Main gate, please.
Just a minute, Doctor. Main gate, Sergeant Powers. Dr. Kruger? Dr. Kruger. No, he checked out. Yeah, about 20 minutes ago. Okay. Sorry to keep you waiting, Doctor.
That's all right.
Okay, Doctor. Will you sign out, please?
We'll post a couple of men outside of Dr. Kruger's office. Get me Colonel Banks at the Officers Club.
Thank you, Doctor. Good night.
Good evening, Dr. Kruger.
Yes?
My name's Briggs. I'm from the FBI.
Briggs. Of course, I've heard of you.
I wonder if you'd mind returning to your office with me.
What seems to be the trouble?
Oh, just a few things we'd like to straighten out.
Concerns me?
Well, I'm afraid so, Doctor. And take your own car if you like. I'll meet you there.
All right, I will. The papers seem to be intact.
Is this all classified information, Doctor?
Of course.
You know, according to security regulations, that vault should have been locked before you left.
But I'm certain I did lock it.
All right, then tell me this. Who besides yourself has access to the combination?
Well, the colonel here and Dr. Martin.
Dr. Martin. He was in the building this afternoon.
That's right. We saw him in my office. He left around 4 o'clock on orders.
He dismissed the secretary a few minutes later, but he didn't sign out of here till 20 minutes after you left.
After I did? Well, there must be some mistake. I personally checked his office just as I was leaving, and he wasn't there.
You always do that, Doctor?
No, but Dr. Martin has been acting, well, quite strange of late.
Yes, he certainly has.
His wife telephoned to say that he hadn't come home as usual. I was very much concerned about it.
So am I. He still hasn't shown up yet. What kind of pipe tobacco do you use, Dr. Kruger?
Me? Why, I don't smoke at all.
And you, Colonel?
Cigarettes. What are you driving at?
That's funny. How long has Dr. Martin been using this brand of tobacco?
But I really don't know. Why?
Now, Mrs. Martin, you say you have no idea where he could be at this hour.
Well, I know he's never been this late before without telephoning.
Well, I hate to ask this, but have you ever had any suspicion that there might be another woman?
Certainly not.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Martin.
Just why are you asking me these questions?
Well, let's put it this way. Has he made any new friends lately? You know, people not in the usual group.
No, the only people we've seen in months have been connected with the Institute. Excuse me. Hello? Yes, just a moment. It's for you, Mr. Briggs.
Oh, thank you.
All units in Sector 7, Code 4. Repeating, Code 4. Be on the lookout for two-tone coupe. License number 1W67713. Repeating, all units, Code 4. Missing, Dr. Douglas P. as in Paul Martin. Male Caucasian, 32 years of age. Height 6'3". Weight 195 pounds. Color of hair blonde. Color of eyes blue. Last seen driving coupe. License number 1W67713.
Dr. Martin. What are you doing with this? Any special reason for placing it under this rock?
Where's your phone?
Over there behind the pump.
Operator, give me Crestview 95359.
All units in Sector 7, Code 4. Repeating, Code 4. Be on lookout for two-tone coupe. License number 1W67713.
Operator, you sure you're dialing the right number? Well, try it again, will you? It's my home. There ought to be someone there now.
At junction of Highway 66 and Beach. Ambulance en route. Car 17, Code 7, 4th and Roberts. Suspects may be armed. Repeating, Code 2 to all units. Dr. Douglas P. as in Paul Martin, male Caucasian, 32 years of age, height 6'3", weight 195 pounds, color of hair blonde, color of eyes blue. Missing, Dr. Douglas P. as in Paul Martin, male Caucasian. Repeating, Code 2 to all units.
Hey, mister! Operator, give me the police, quick.
Calling car 6. Calling car 6, Code 11. Come in, Briggs. Calling car 6. Calling car 6, Code 11. Code 11, Central calling. Come in, Briggs.
Hello, Central. Hello, Central. This is Briggs. This is Briggs. Come in.
Subject, Dr. Douglas Martin, last seen en route 61, heading toward North Junction. Stopped at gas station, corner of Ridgewood and Mills Road. Acknowledge.
Roger. Briggs out.
They're here. They're gonna... Here. They're here. They're here. They're going to destroy us.
He's coming out of it.
It's all right, Dr. Martin. You're with friends. You'll be all right.
Now, let me go. Let me go.
Steady now, steady, Doc.
He'll kill everyone. We've got to stop now.
Easy, Doug, easy.
What did you give him? Sodium amytal. Truth serum. It'll deprive his mind of any imagination. I guess he'll make sense now. I'll get the recorder ready. Can you hear me, Dr. Martin?
Yes.
Now listen to me. I want you to count backwards from 100. Do you understand? Backwards from 100.
100. 99. 98. 97. 96. 95. 94.
Well, you can ask him questions now.
Dr. Martin, what were you doing with the information you took from Dr. Kruger's vault?
I was delivering it.
Delivering it? But where? To the rocks in Soledad Flats?
Yes. To Soledad Flats, and where we crashed. I was delivering it, just as I was ordered.
Who ordered you to do this, Dr. Martin?
I'll tell you the whole story. I remember we were circling the atomic cloud. There was an object glowing beneath us at Soledad Flats. We were going down to investigate. Controls jammed. Couldn't pull out. When I regained consciousness, I was on a table. Next thing I knew, they were coming at me. Strange people. Their eyes, those horrible eyes. They didn't speak. I could see something strange and eerie pulsating in front of me. Then one of them lowered it toward my chest. It was my own heart. What happened? What is this place?
Who are you? What are you doing to me?
Can't you speak? Who are you?
Step forward. Dr. Martin, I see you are quite well. You have recovered from your unfortunate accident.
Who are you?
A scientist, like yourself.
Where do you come from?
From a planet, yet unknown to you.
You know my name. You speak English.
We speak every language.
Can't expect me to believe that. I'm getting out of here.
Stay where you are.
Who are you?
I have already told you that.
How did you get here?
Here. In our machines magnetically propelled across the electron bridge we have created.
Electron bridge? You mean you come and go, just like that? Without anyone ever seeing you?
Our ships have been sighted on numerous occasions by your people.
Then why haven't we been able to track one down?
We have a warning system similar to your primitive radar. Our machines are set to change course at the mere approach of a pursuing object.
Let's say I do believe you. Where are we right now?
In a cavern within the upper crust of the Earth.
How long have you been here?
Since the beginning of your experiments in nuclear fission.
What have you got to do with that?
We are accumulating the energy released with each of your atomic explosions. One moment.
No, I here, either. Pop. No, Eaters. Pilot. Now, Nino. Nino. Navasino. Yalrada. Casino. Valpino. Hurls, Needed.
What was that?
A report from the monitor we sent to the surface to obtain the results of your last nuclear test.
Results? They'll take days to analyze and compute.
I think you will find these figures are correct.
I can't believe it. Where is that man?
You don't recognize the area?
No.
He is in the vicinity where you crashed.
That rock was glowing.
A normal reaction in view of the amount of radiation absorbed. You have a remarkable memory, Doctor, considering the fact that you did not survive the crash.
What do you mean?
The mechanism of your heart had ceased to function. It was necessary for us to revive it. You were dead.
I was dead. So that's what they were doing. You didn't even try to help the pilot. Why did you save me?
Because we had an important need of your services.
Such as?
Look this way, Doctor. You will understand. Here, Doctor. You are the first of your world to be looking at our solar system, the Astron. This is our planet, Astron Delta. It occupies the 4th position in relation to this, our sun.
Yes, go on.
During the 23rd time rotation, our sun began to die. So during the succeeding generations, as our planet began to cool, vegetation began to disappear. Our eyes developed to this state to combat the ever-growing darkness. We were forced to migrate.
You left your planet? Where?
We invaded these neighboring planets. They were nearer to our sun.
You just moved in and took over? How many of you?
All of us, well over 1 billion. There were feeble attempts to stop us, but we were prepared for such contingencies. And now that our sun is about to completely expire, we must move again in order to survive. Yours is the only planet in this solar system capable of supporting our civilization.
This is fantastic. Over 1 billion of you trying to come here to Earth.
We have no alternative. We have been putting our plan to work for some time. At the proper moment, the invasion will be launched from our platforms, which are being readied in space. Nothing can stop us.
Insane. This is ridiculous.
You cannot find your way in or out of this cavern. Do not try to leave. So, you have discovered our menagerie. Don't you think you will be more at ease on this side of the cage?
It's horrible. What are you doing here?
We are breeding our, shall I say, armies.
Those carnivorous insects and animals? What have you done to them?
Their growth is due to a change in their genes. With your next nuclear test, these animals will multiply at a rate beyond imagination. When the time comes, we will unleash them. They will spread to every continent and devour every living thing on the surface of the earth.
What good will that do you? How could you expect to survive better than we?
We have provided for that. No, Doctor. Look over there. We will use their bodies to fertilize the soil. Vegetation will rise up in abundance. A new era of civilization will begin.
Gamma rays?
You see, Doctor, we have arranged for everything.
Wait a minute. All this equipment?
Our nuclear storage units. To date, we have accumulated several billion electron volts as a result of your atomic explosions.
Several billion? Why, a chain reaction at this point could release enough unstable isotopes to create a new and powerful element. Might be impossible to control.
True. An element that will never be known by your scientists. I can assure you the strength of this new element will be...
This is a powder keg. Could go off at any minute.
I assure you, Doctor, we have everything under our complete control.
What force could possibly be strong enough to harness the... You control your whole operation by electricity. Of course, no generators. That means you're getting your power from somewhere on the surface. It must be passing through here.
You have heard enough, Dr. Martin. Step inside.
All right. What do you want from me?
You will have access to advanced information relative to the time and strength of the forthcoming atomic tests.
What about it?
You will provide us with that information as soon as it is available.
I see. You're afraid of an overload. You can't tap enough electricity wherever you get it from to control a strong enough charge.
You are a clever man, Doctor. Perhaps too clever.
And what makes you think I'll give you any information?
It is the only way you can save your own life when the time comes. You will be transported to one of our platforms in space and resettled here when our operation is completed.
You're asking me to sabotage the entire world, 3 billion people.
They are doomed in any case.
Well, I guess there's no alternative. I'll have to do as you say.
You are lying, Doctor. Your only wish is to betray us.
No.
I know. Your thoughts have been recorded.
Lie detector?
Call it what you like. You force me to resort to other methods. I will contact our space station. You are an unwilling subject, Dr. Martin.
What? Who are you?
I am Vitala. You will listen and obey.
No,
You will listen to my orders and obey me. You will listen and obey. Listen
and obey.
You will remember nothing you have seen or heard here. Nothing but my orders which you will obey.
Yes.
You will obtain the data and bring it to the stone near the place where your plane was wrecked.
To the stone.
What have you seen or heard here? What have you seen or heard here?
Nothing.
Repeat my orders.
I will obtain the data and bring it to the stone. Well, that's what I did. I took the information to where they told me. I didn't realize I was being mesmerized. Why doesn't somebody say something? Don't you believe me? Kurt, you understand. These giant animals breeding by the millions, they'll devour everything unless we stop them. Of course, Doug, we will. Colonel, you've got to arrange to set off another bomb tonight, the strongest charge we have. They're beneath the ground with all their equipment. We can blow them to pieces.
Now, wait a minute.
A strong charge will overload their units.
Don't believe me, Colonel? Major? Kurt?
Of course we do. Easy, Doug, easy.
You think I'm crazy, all of you.
Well, I'm not. Do you understand? Everything I said is true. I saw it with my own eyes.
Give me a hand, Doug.
Now, let me go. Let me go.
Steady, steady, steady. Take it easy now. Take it easy. We'll talk this whole thing over.
What are you doing to me now?
And just rest quietly. That's it.
Mrs. Martin should be along any minute now. She went for their car. What'll I tell her?
Well, he's in a state of shock. Tell her he's resting quietly.
If you'll excuse me, I think I'd better wait for her at the information desk.
Well, Dr. Martin seems to be indestructible, except for those hallucinations.
Those weren't hallucinations, Colonel. Under the influence of sodium amytal, a patient loses all control of his imagination.
Well, then he shouldn't be able to fabricate those stories.
That's right.
Major, you're not trying to tell us that everything he said was true.
Look, gentlemen, I can only give you the medical facts. As for the rest, you'll have to decide for yourself. Excuse me, please.
Good evening, Dr. Kruger. Chilly, isn't it?
Oh, Mr. Briggs, you startled me. I didn't expect to see anyone here.
Well, neither did I, Doctor.
Well, I suppose you want me to explain why I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
I want to believe Doug. We've worked together a long time. Anyway, I just had to come out here and check for myself.
Check what, Doctor?
For an entrance or an exit to the caverns he described.
I'm afraid you're wasting your time. Have a cigarette, Doctor?
No, thank you.
See, we've already covered the entire area. We couldn't find a thing.
Then, what about that scar? I'd like to see you disprove that.
Oh, Mrs. Martin.
Oh. How is he, Doctor?
Oh, he's resting fine. I think he'll be all right. How's the car?
Keep away from me. Keep away, I said.
Stop.
Let me go. They're after me. Nobody's after you, Dr. Martin. Keep away.
Doc, he's trying to help you.
I don't need the help. I want to see Kurt right away. Now, you control yourself. And I'll call him just as soon as you get back to your room.
You get back into bed and I'll call Dr. Kruger.
I've got to figure something out before he gets here. I need a pencil, some paper, and a slide rule.
I'll see that you get it. Oh, can I have Dr. Kruger, please?
Dr. Kruger speaking. Oh, yes, Major. How is he? All right, I'll be over in a few minutes.
Doug. 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 Kurt.
Ellen, I got here as soon as I could. Is there anything wrong?
He's much better. Imagine he's even started working. He asked for paper and a slide rule.
That's interesting. Wonder what he's up to.
Formulas, equations. Anyway, whatever he says, pretend to agree with him. Major Cliff's orders.
Of course.
Doug. Doug, Kurt's here.
Hello, Doug. Just a second, I'm almost finished.
I'll take your hat.
Thank you. Kurt, let's face it. I know that you all think there's something wrong with me.
No, of course not.
No, I wouldn't blame you after the story I told last night.
Well, frankly, you did have us a little worried, asking that a bomb be dropped because of what you said.
You don't believe me either. Kurt, I tell you, I've been there. I've seen what they're doing, breeding animals into carnivorous monsters. But I don't need a bomb to stop them. I've figured it out. It's all here. Now, look. Here's the nuclear strength of our last test. And this is the amount of electricity needed to control it.
Let me see that.
I had to estimate the conversion rates of their transformers.
If these figures are correct, such transformers must operate on a constant supply of electricity. Where could they get that much electric power?
Only one way. They must tap it from the main lines at the powerhouse. Could do it by parallel induction. Nobody'd ever know the difference. All we have to do is to cut it off.
Cut off the power? We can't do that. It would cause untold damage for miles around. Such a power stoppage must be planned in advance.
8 to 10 seconds, that's all I need. That gap in supply will short out their resistors and the whole thing will go up. But you won't go along with that. No, not you.
Doug, get back in bed.
There, car keys. There.
Now, look, you're carrying this
out of my way.
Doug!
Please call the main gate and try to stop Dr. Martin.
Doug took the car. Hurry.
Dr. Martin! Stop! Stop!
He did what? How long ago? Right, we'll leave immediately.
What's wrong, Colonel?
Dr. Martin. He's on his way to the powerhouse, wants to cut off the power supply.
Let's go.
I couldn't stop him, Doctor. He went that way.
note.
Where's the driver of this car? He went into the building.
Stairs.
Where are the main switches?
Hey, what's the matter with you? You sleepwalking or something, mister?
Where are the switches that control the Soledad Flats area? I said, where are they?
This way. Oh. Control room. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Come on, show me those switches. Come on.
All right.
Cut that power.
Now, look, mister, be reasonable.
I said cut it. Now the next one. Next. Go on.
That'll turn the power off for 100 miles.
Do as I say.
Here it is.
Stay where you are.
Put down that gun, Dr. Mott.
I'm warning you, Colonel. Come any closer and I'll kill you. Now the next one. What's this one?
That's the master switch.
Cut it.
Doug, please, don't.
I said cut it. Get back or I'll kill him. Go on, get back. Go on, get back.
Do as he says.
Give me 10 seconds after I cut the power. If I'm insane, nothing will happen and you can do what you want with me. But if I'm right... Now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Over here.
Soledad Flats, right in the button.
Just as he said.
He blew them to pieces.